Okay, in this video, I want to go over one of the best features of SalesProphet, and that is our account-based email platform. So what do I mean by this? So I'm going to give you an example of a live example of a customer and give you an idea of who their target market is. Now, they typically go after HR people because they are in the moving business. They relocate employees all around the world in North America and the United States, Canada, etc. And then their parent company does international relocations. Now, their ideal persona is HR job titles, compensation, benefits, oops, CHROs, anyone with people, because now you get some really weird job titles these days: Chief People Officer, Chief Happiness Officer. And they are ultimately responsible for relocating employees. They also, you can break these down by departments as well. So there's the HR titles, like I'm showed here: HR, human resources, total rewards, compensation, benefits, CHRO, people, happiness. You can even put relocation and mobility. Now, be careful on mobility because mobility can also be a medical term for people in the healthcare industry. So, if I was running this particular search or looking for mobility executives, I would um, exclude the healthcare industry, um, so I don't get a bunch of medical staff that have nothing to do with moving employees. Now, you might also want to break this up by department. So while this is a good list or a good start for HR, you might also want to include operations and business analyst, and then another one might be finance, purchasing, procurement. And so you can combine them all in one list if you like, or you can separate them out. But there's an advantage in the account-based strategy for putting them all in the same list. I'm going to show you why. So let's go ahead and add procurement. Let's add purchasing. Let's add business analyst. Let's add supply chain. You might do supply chain 2 words, and you might do supply hyphen chain. And you might want to do vendor for vendor managers, etc. All right, so this is a good start. Now, you can see there's 1.8 million people. That's a little bit too broad, right? So what we might want to do is select by company sizes. Now, when I create an account-based list, I like to go after the larger clients because if there's more people in this case, then there's probably a bigger need to move a lot more people than, say, a small company. Um, Another way of doing it would be number of locations. At some point, we'll add location data in our database as well. Um, or it could be that you actually find that you're more profitable with companies that are between 1,000 and 5,000. Whatever your top prospects are, you're going to want to select those industries and those company sizes. So right now, I'm just going to leave it for this case. There's 660,000 people that match this profile right now. Now, what we might want to do is break this down a bit and just select some key industries. So our client does really well with automotive, architectural planning. Let's see, we'll do chemicals. We can do computer hardware, networking, electronics, software. We'll do some consumer goods, services. Now we've got a really defined list of 18,000 targets. Maybe add in insurance, financial services, and insurance, automation, add a few more. So there's not very many companies when you get over 10,000 employees, but we have 61,000 people that are in this list. Okay. So this is all very important. These are your top targets based off of your best prospects, which could be the size of the company, the revenue of the company, or the most profitable. or maybe it's regional. You might want to do that as well. So I can run this query, and I can get a quick little snapshot of those contacts in that list. And now I could say, okay, I'm going to save this as a list, as an account-based list. And I can even refine this even more. Just give me, I don't know, let's say 5,000 contacts, but no more than 20 people per company. Okay. And there's a reason why you want a lot of people at the company. And I'm going to show you that in a second. All right. So let's say once we save that list, that will become a list in here. You're going to want to verify that list prior to using it. Email is all about good, clean hygiene. So you don't get charged. You just simply select that and we will process the list and send you an email when your list is ready. Now that will show up in your account-based dashboard. Now you'll notice if I click on a company here, I found 3 contacts at this company that match my profile: HR, talent acquisition, senior talent acquisition, etc. Now, when we run this list, if we don't have at least 3 people at an account-based target, then we don't include it, because you might as well put those in a standard sequence. We just don't have enough contacts at that company to meet your criteria as an account-based target. Now, why is this important? Well, the reason how we do content or account-based emails is we try to take a look at the most senior person. So here's an HR person who is operations manager. I'm going to send an email to Christina, but I'm going to copy Sarah and I'm copying Nicole, because chances are these people are involved in any talent recruitment or relocation efforts. A lot of time when a company hires a new hire, they may have to relocate them. Sometimes they might be moving somebody from one division to another division, like from New York to California or New York to London. And those require relocation packages. That makes these contacts ideal. So instead of just sending one email to each person, now what we can do is we can send an email that says, "Hi, I want to introduce myself. I'd see if I could be any help with your employee relocation efforts. I'm not sure who's in charge of selecting a moving provider. So in my pursuit, I've copied Sarah Irwin and Nicole Neal." So in the past, you would have to manually go back and forth between your Excel spreadsheet and your company list, and you'd have to hand cut and paste to assemble an email like this. And it was taking a very long time. These campaigns on general are 300 to 500% more effective. Why is that? Well, Sarah might go, uh-oh, Sean just emailed my boss, Christina. I better jump in here and answer this email. Or Christina might say, "Hey, Sean, thanks for reaching out. Why don't you talk to Nicole and I'll see if it warrants a conversation. Sincerely, Christina. Ball, blah, blah, blah." So it kind of forces a reply. And also at the water cooler, if they're working in the same location, they can say, "Hey, Christina, did you get that note from Sean? We've been talking about adding another moving or relocation vendor. What do you think? Yeah, why don't you reach out to Bobby and see if this makes sense for us? Let's at least set up a call." Or at least we have an opportunity to nurture those people and share some educational content and some thought leadership to establish the brand with that company. Now you simply hit the send button and off that email goes. And when that does get sent, you'll see that we flag the person we sent the email to and the people that we've copied on the email. In this case, we've previously sent an email to these 2 people. Now you could do 2 people if you like, copy multiple people, but we prefer to copy 3 if possible. Okay, so once you've done and you've sent that email, instead of having to go back to your company list and then selecting a company, you can select this arrow and go to your next target company. So here we've got 4 people that match our criteria. Again, you follow the same process. Here we have even more. Allstate Insurance, a rather big company. So you can see we've sent an email to Megan and we've copied Karen and Jennifer and sent an email off to those folks. Now, if we don't get a response, we might send them another email. "Hey, I'm bumping this back up. I'm really hoping that one of the three of you can help me find the right person in charge of your company's relocation efforts. And if you still don't get a response, then you might want to try some other job titles that are inside here, an HR manager or sourcing consultant. In this case, there's a lot of context to pick from. Make sure you look at the bottom of your view to make sure that you've got everybody in that one view. But the ideal thing would be to copy somebody, in this case, someone who's probably in procurement, someone who you think oversees the people strategy, or operations. So those three are typically involved in a purchase decision for moving services. Now, for your business, it might be different. Like for marketing, you might reach out to the CMO, but you might copy the CEO and perhaps a VP of sales. Or it could be director of brand, the CMO, and digital marketer or content creator or social media manager, whoever you have and that's available in the database. You want to copy those folks. Now, it does another thing that's a side bar to this is that if you're doing a lot of outbound email marketing, cold email, and you're sending the same message over and over, say 50, 60 times a day to different people, it also helps kind of break up your messaging so that you don't appear to be sending just the same thing over and over. Now, these are not fully automated, and we don't think you should fully automate these. We think you should be taking the time to identify the right people to do your outreach for or with or to. So we're going to be adding some new features to this very soon. That meaning what we want to do is if you flag a company as an account-based target, we're also going to be providing, right now you can see we have 700 targets inside of our 699 companies that we have said, hey, these are important to this client. What we want to also do is provide you any intelligence that's coming in for those companies, something that might indicate or give you a reason to send a more personalized message. And that could be the announcement of a merger acquisition. That could be the funding announcement. It could be new leadership. Those are the kind of feeds that could really lead to a more relevant conversation. So it could be something along the lines of hi Renee, I noticed that McGriff Insurance Services just hired a new chief human resource officer. That's pretty exciting. Do you think this is a good time to reach out to you about your company's mobility efforts? We've been moving customers for over 60 years and we have a great reputation, blah, 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 whatever it is you want to say. But it just gives you a good icebreaker, shows that you're relevant, and it shows that you've copied multiple people at the company. So you're doing a lot of homework on that person. So instead of just sending a blank and arbitrary message, we want to give you the tools to send a much more relevant message. All right, so hopefully this gives you a good view on regards to account-based marketing. A couple other things you can do is you can also add a note. You can delete a company from your list. You can create an opportunity, give it a name. It's automatically assigned to the company that you're in, assign the stage of the opportunity, whether it's public or private. Give it a sign of values, any details you want to put in there, your estimated win percentage, whatever priority that you want to put on this opportunity, where this opportunity came from, could be an account-based lead, an expected close date, and select a primary contact at that company. So you know how to move that opportunity. Once you create that opportunity, it will show up in your dashboard. And of course, if you have taken the time to integrate with your primary CRM, which might be, HubSpot, Salesforce, or Pipedrive, then you can also push this opportunity directly into your CRM. And of course, any tasks that are associated to your sales efforts or prospecting efforts are there. Now, in here you can see that we actually have connection on LinkedIn, that the credentials are bad. So if you see an arrow like this in your task dashboard, that means that our system wasn't able to connect to your LinkedIn account to reach out to those individuals that you've created a rule for. So you need to address this and reconnect your account. We are working on making some improvements to the LinkedIn connector that we have, which is based off of a session ID and a session cookie. But that will probably take us a couple more months before we fully make that integration into place. But anyway, I hope this gives you a good idea of account-based view. Remember, these are your top targets. They should be based on your most profitable, or maybe the companies that have the largest lifetime value, or maybe that tend to close more quickly. Whatever your top targets or prospect efforts are, if you assign them as an account-based campaign, then you have the ability to come in here and manually manage those communications, which is the right way to do it. But we've proven that these are very successful. Like I said, 300 to 500% more effective than a typical email campaign one-to-one. Please let us know if you have any questions. We know a lot. We've been doing these for years, so we've got a lot of great suggestions on how to get the most out of your account-based email efforts. Thank you.